All right. Recording is in progress. My eyes are still a work in progress. So, no, it's it works in the distance, but it doesn't work in close. I always need glasses for.
What'd you do?
No, I had to do it.
What?
Well, I had a cataract surgery.
Oh, that's the difference.
Yeah. Well, Hashem, amen. So we are in Tiko Emuna, Terehei, Likutey Moharan Chelik Beis. Yeah, and we said that the main thing is Emuna. A person should search himself where he's holding as far as Emuna is concerned. Paparos Chochma says that means when you're searching yourself as far as Emuna goes, should always be, just 1 second, not to mechazik yourself in Emuna, not to bring yourself down. In other words, you're supposed to find where the weak spots are. But you should be careful about the conclusions you come to. I don't know what's going to be. I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. Therefore, I'm no good. This is my Emuna doesn't work. It's too small, it's too this. And the klal is that any kind of criticism must always be l'chazik. If any kind of chizuk, any kind of self inspection results in nefila, in depression, in that it's not from the side of kedusha. That's from the side of tumah. It looks like kedusha. The way it's supposed to be. Emuna is supposed to be strong, and therefore, you're no good. You're finished. And where will I, what? I've been working on it for I don't know how long, and look at me. That's not from the time of kedusha. Any kind of chizuk, any kind of, as I said before, self-inspection is a must for the avodah of Emuna. Because a person can pass his entire life thinking that he has Emuna, and he doesn't really have, he has Emuna, but something small, it's I'm just like everybody else. What's the, I'm not better, I'm not worse than anyone else. So now, and then a person just takes things, as they come. All right, it's okay, whatever it is. I learn, Baruch Hashem. I go to shul, Baruch Hashem. I daven, Baruch Hashem. and finish. What do you want from me? I'm not, in truth, the reason why most people are far from Avodas Hashem is because of this idea that, what do you expect me to be? What do you think I'm going to be? Because everybody, especially, in the British world, whatever, it goes to yeshiva, right? It goes to yeshiva, everybody gets a chance, just like anybody else. But the world of yeshiva is also mostly predicated on excellence. So if you're excellent, if you're very good, yeah, you get a good shidduch, and more than that, you get the impetus of taking it as a career. I'm good at it. Makes me feel good about myself. And what about all the other people? By the way, this shir, of course, is dedicated to the refuah of all cholim and to the release of all the hostages, and for Zat Hashem, for swift and for Achdus and for swift Zat Hashem victory on Kol, on all the Son Israel. Zat Hashem will see Nisim. Zat Hashem, Mashiach will come on the night. Now, so a person goes to yeshiva. So how are you doing as far as London? Okay. I don't like it that much, but there's something on Sesame Street. There was a dog who played piano. So they asked him, how are you doing? He says, well, I'm no Yasha Haifetz, but I'm getting along and I'm doing okay. They go in yeshiva, it's okay, I'm doing the maslul, I'm doing the route. And then, maybe I go to Koilel for a couple of years and I go to work. Why don't you stay in Koilel? Yeah. And if I stay in Koilel, what am I going to be? I'm going to be a Rav? I'm not going to be a Rav. I'm going to be a Rosh Koilel? I'm not going to be Rosh Koilel. I'm going to be a Rosh Yeshiva? I'm not going to be a Rosh Yeshiva. So what? That's the outlook of this world. The outlook of this world. If you're not driven, if you don't have a geschmack, if you don't, might as well just give it up. Just give it up, just stick with some kvisitim latayra and that's enough. It's definitely better than nothing, but that's not tachlis. That's not the evidence. A person needs to search in Emunah. Rabbeinu said that when the Emunah comes down, that brings about makos, afflictions, which are out of nature, unnatural afflictions. Now the Rebbe says that these kind of afflictions, three things that usually help for health in Yonim don't help. He says that medicine, refuahs don't help for that. Tefillah doesn't help for that. And even schus ovis doesn't help for that. Now the Rebbe explains why these things don't work. When, about these kind of ailments and afflictions that come due to broken emunah. It's as follows. You call it refuahs, all the refuahs, all the medicinal compounds, and they are solving. They come through the koyach hatzameach. They come through. Mostly, you can find them. In those days, there was natural healing, and what they have today is they remake the same kind of compounds that are originally in the tzmochim, in the plants. And they are sovim, and the sovim, the plants, these kind of medicinal plants, all kinds of plants, but specifically in Gdelim Raka Emunah, they grow through the power of Emunah. And Agshomim Yordim Ela B'schus Emunah. The only reason why rains, which are beneficial to agriculture and so forth and so on, when they come down, is b'schus of Emunah. Shenemar emes me'eres titzmoch. The truth grows from the earth, from the ground. V'tzedek mishamayim nishkal. And justice is reflective of the Shemayim. In other words, the time when in the Eretz, the emes is growing from the earth, from the ground, which means that there is emunah in the masa matan, in the business dealings. I believe this is Rashi. Then, as tzedek mishamayim nishkaf, then justice is reflected from the Shemayim, which means if people are acting be'emunah, they are conducting themselves faithfully, that brings them out that mishamayim, they do tzedakah with them, and the rains come down. Shekshiyesh emunah, when there is emunah, as the yodim kshamim, and then the rains come down, there's tzomchim asovim, then the plants grow. Azay yesh refuahs, that brings, the refuahs can be found. However, due to the breakdown of emunah, there's no geshamim. There are no rains that are good for the kind of asavim to make the asavim that are auspicious for refuah. They don't grow. There's no refuah. There's no refuah. And it never says, additionally, the men koyach of refuah, the way that they were dealing with it then, the way that it is now, sheyesh b'chol esev ve'esev hu al pi seder, the power to heal in every single compound is according to the seder. It's every plant is different, and it's going according to seder's roim. Lefia makom v'azman, according to where they grow and when they grow. Kiyesh esev, there is refuah. Its main power to heal is only when you cut it before it has managed to complete a third of its growth. It's still young. Then you cut it off. And afterwards, then afterwards, once the plant is older, it's bigger, it loses its capacity to heal. There's another kind of medicinal plants. That its koyach is only, its capacity to heal is only once it grows and complete so much that it actually falls off by itself. Then it gets the koyach to heal. According to the seder of the zman that they have. The same way, yesh seder lefi hamokom. There's also seder according to where they grow. Shemokom zeh gadel zeh eser. This particular place grows this. Mokom acher delim aser acherim. And different medicinal plants grow in different places. Ve'ikar kochen l'rapa yisrael pi haseder sheyesh lehem lefi hazman v'hamokom. The power that they have to heal is subjective to the seder, that the order that they have according to time and place. The seder Zroim, and that order, that supreme order, that the seeds of any kind of plants, specifically, when it talks about medicinal plants, is according to Emunah. How do we know? Chazal said, Emunah ze seder Zroim. That's what Chazal said, right? Gemara Shabbos. Amash Resh Lakish, Mai dichtiv haya emunah satecha chosim mishuas chochmas v'das. Emunah ze seder Zroim. Emunah refers to seder Zroim, in the Mishnayos, in the Gemara. Itecha ze seder Moed. Your times is seder Moed. Shabbos, Yom Tov, chosin, strength, the seder Noshim. The Gemara says, Yeshuas, the seder Nezikin, that refers to the seder of Nezikin, the Shisha Sidra Mishnah. Chochma, the seder Kodshin. The Chochma in the Pasuk refers to the seder of Kodshin. The Das is seder Taras, is the seder of Taras. Afilu Achi says, Yiras Hashem Yotzarei. This is what the Gemara says. This is what the Rashi says. And Rashi says, Seder Zroim, Shalde Emunah, when a person has Emunah, Adam, Soimech, Le'afrish, Masroisov, Karoi. A person finds the emotional capacity to give Meiser properly. Why people don't give Meiser? Because what's going to be with me? I'm going to give this money away. I won't have. Baruch Hu says exactly the opposite. Baruch Hu says, check me out in this. You're not allowed to test HaKadosh Baruch Hu in anything except this. To give Meiser, it says, and I will open you a bracha ad blidai. I will bless you, ad blidai, until Ashivlu, you have so much that your lips are going to wither, but saying, enough, okay, I have enough. Emunah, Seder Zroim Bechlal, the whole union of planting is based on Emunah. Person plants the seeds in the ground. He doesn't know, is it going to grow? It's not going to grow. Will rain come? Rain will not come. A person has to be mechazek himself to believe. So he plants and he prays for rain. Why do you take grains that you could actually, grind and make bread from, and you put it in the ground. What happens if it won't grow? What happens if there'll be no rain? Or if the rain is going to be so strong, it's going to spoil the grains, and you won't have what to eat. So they said, Emunah, the whole set of Zroim, the whole Indian of people, being, harvesters, being farmers, is based on you invest and you trust. You have a Emunah that'll grow. So Rabbeinu says that the Ruchnius, the whole Seder of the Zroim, when do they come out? If they come out, the rain comes, the rain doesn't come. What grows in this place? What grows in that place? All this is Seder Zroim. This is the order of Zroim, that when it grows properly in the proper places and it comes together, it can bring a fruit. And it depends on Emunah, because the Emunah is the thing that actually turns the wheel of Seder Zroim. It all depends on Emunah. Rabbeinu says also that, that the Galgal HaYomi of Seder HaMazolos, the zodiac of all the muzzles, goes from west to east, and the Galgal Yomi forces it from east to west. So it says Galgal Yomi means it's between 6 days of the Shabbos. It's through the tzedakah, through the Emunah. It all comes down to Emunah. Time and place are predicated on Emunah. Emunah is the thing that makes it work. That's why we say the esev, in Bereshis, and the esev asor the tevet tzmiach, the plants of the field didn't grow yet. V'adam ein lavodas adoma, and there's no person to cultivate, to till the land. That's what the Chumash says in Bereshis. Rashi says, there's no person that will daven for the rains to come. That's why the plants didn't grow. But we see that the Chumash says that during the 6 days of the races, that the plants were already there from the day 3, right? So why do we say that Etzem Hasadeh, the plants of the field did not grow because there's no person, to pray for it, to daven for it. So the rain didn't come. So Chazal said the Elachinami, it was created on the 3rd day, but it was bekoich, it didn't come out. When did it come out? It came out when there was man was created, and men davened, and then the rain came down. The main thing that the Rebbe is teaching us here everything was created for the fact that there'll be men, a person, Bnei Adam, that will be Megala, the covenant of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the people are born into this world. And this world is Olam. The Gemara says, Mesechus Brachos, Olam Yishon Helem, concealed. You don't see what the truth is. You only see the surface. These people, they're Rishayim Tzalecha, they're wicked people, they're successful, and so forth and so on. all these kashas that cause people to fall off the Torah, they come because the Yetzer Hara is pulling people to go after that which they can see.
Which is what?
Which they can see with their own eyes. The Yetzer Hara pays cash. Yetzer Tov pays with a very big check, but it's a post-dated check. That's why Rabbeinu says that in Torah Aleph, Rabbeinu says that lo yachpotz ksil bisvuno, that the fool is not interested in seichel, ki bisgalus liboy, only when the revelation of his heart. You know, heart means the feelings. Revelation is something which is revealed, something which is tangible. You know, you have a lot of money, you're very successful, the food is gourmet, whatever it is that the wives are beautiful, whatever it is that the car is fancy. Ladies and gentlemen, Lo Yachsel Ksil Besvur, Ksil is not interested in why? Because the truth is inside. Yaakov Avinu is Yaakov Esav. Esav is Melech Zoken Maksim, an old and foolish king. That's the Samech Mem. And the Yetzer Tov is called, Shlomo Melech called him, Yeled Misken V'Chacham, an impoverished child, however, a wise one. The Rebbe says in Torah Aleph, a person needs to search for the seichel in every situation. In every situation. In everything. Then when you find the seichel, it's not enough. You're supposed to connect yourself. You're supposed to subjugate yourself. In other words, it's machriach you. It obligates you. You see what the seichel is, and then you go and do whatever it is that you wish. That's not the tachlis. The tachlis is that you're looking for the seichel, which is inside everything, to be mekashi yourself to the seichel, connect yourself to that, in order that the seichel in every given situation will bring you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is what Rabbeinu says in Torah Aleph. And Rabbeinu said, this is the bechina of Yaakov. Yaakov, when he goes to Lavan, before he goes to Lavan, says he's nitman. He is entombed. He's concealing himself. He's buried, as it were, in Yeshivas Shem Ve'ever for 14 years before he went to Lavan. Esav is the opposite of Yaakov. Esav, Ish Soda, he's a man of the field. He sees everything. He is for the surface. Yaakov Avinu is looking inside to the seichel that exists in everything. That is the seed. What do you do with the seed? You bury it in the earth. When you look at it superficially, what on earth are you doing? You're ruining those seeds. You had seeds, perfectly good. You could have ground it. You can make bread from this or whatever. And what did you do? You put it in the ground. What happens? You put seeds in the ground. They rot. Rain comes down, they rot. No, so you ruined your seeds. But the emes is, when you go according to Emunah and you put your seed to the ground, in the ground, at first it looks as if not only didn't work, but it ruined itself. But the answer is, it grows from when the seed is verschimmeled, when it rots. This is when a new stalk comes up, and instead of having one grain, you're going to have a whole, sheaf of wheat, strand of wheat, which has 7, 10, 24, 48 grains from one seed. It all comes to teach you. It all comes to teach you that this world is predicated on emunah, because the world has to come, the truth has to be found out. The truth grows from the ground. In other words, it's covered. It looks as if the ones who are the most talented and the most this and the most that, they are the ones who are successful. But this is the bisgalus liba, is the golem. But the truth is that the thing that actually the emes is in the ground. A person is supposed to look to the seichel shebechol davar, to the seichel that exists in every single thing. And this is covered. Because the whole tachlis of a person in this world is to be mekash himself to Kadosh Baruch Hu. The only way to be mekash to Kadosh Baruch Hu for what? In order to refine the emes. The only way that the emes can be found in this world is through emunah. When it is contradicted with sheker, the emes is inside. It's inside. The sheker is on the outside. Sheker achen vehevel hayofi, right? The sheker is the chen, is the charm, and the nonsense is the beauty. It's a woman that fears Hashem. That's the one who is praiseworthy. It is the insights, the emes. But the situation is that the emes cannot possibly be revealed in this world unless there's a sheker.
Yes.
Unless there's sheker. Because you take this thing, this emes and sheker together, and through emunah, you're saying the outside, that's which glitters, that's what shines, that shiny trinket, that's the truth, that's the sheker. Now what's inside, the seichel that exists inside, in every single thing, Rebbe said in Torah Aleph, that's the ikr. How can you let something that you see with your own eyes, let it go, and go for the emes which is inside? The answer is emunah. You believe. You can't see it, but you believe. Now, being that this is the tachlis of the creation of man, when a person, people, whatever it is, are not, basing themselves on the emunah, it automatically brings about ailments and afflictions. Because creation, the bria, is not going towards its tachlis. When there's a lack of emunah, you go through this world, you have whatever it is you have in this world, and Kadosh Baruch Hu tests you in this world, and he gives you refuah in this world. But the refuah works if you have emunah. The fact that the afflictions come on a person b'chlal, and that there's refuah, the refuah will help if you have emunah. The whole idea is that you won't trust, as we learn in Torah Samech Beis, you won't trust the sibos, the causes. The Kadosh Baruch Hu can help you also without these causes. But these causes are there in order to refine your emunah, to see what do you choose. Do you believe it's the Kadosh Baruch Hu who does that? Or do you believe that the medicine is the thing that does that? And the whole idea is why? Because you as a person are supposed to make the right choices. You're supposed to subjugate yourself to the Seichel Amiti, Shesh Bechol Dovas. Rabbeinu says when the Emunah crumbles, to the point, that there comes Chaloim that, that there's no refuah to them. And the Rebbe just showed us how, Al Pisedas Roim, what is a Zera? You put it in the ground, it's concealed. And that's the thing that grows the tzmochim, the medicinal plants from which you make the refuahs. When there's no Emunah, the whole Sedes Roim gets discombobulated. So therefore, the refuahs don't work. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if the refuahs are coming from plants like this, or in pills, or whatever it is, it's always, if a Kodesh Baruch Hu gives siyata d'shmaya, and the medicine comes in its proper time, in its proper fashion, person, Baruch Hashem, has refuah. Chas v'chalila, it doesn't work that way. Chas v'chalila, then there's nefilas emunah. When the emunah gets broken, I mean, it says there's chaloim roim, that refuah doesn't help at all. Because these are unnatural kind of afflictions. So Rabbeinu says there are three things that are used for refuah. One of them is medicine. That if there's no emunah, it breaks. The second one is tefillah. Tefillah, gam ken b'chinas emunah, Rabbeinu says. Moshe Kosu v'yi yodov emunah. Moshe Rabbeinu is standing there on the hill. Am Yisrael is fighting Amalek. That's the seed of Esau, the main representative of Esau. The crux of the principle of Esau is Amalek. And it has to be eradicated. Moshe Rabbeinu is standing on the hill. Yeshua and Am Yisrael are fighting against Amalek. Moshe Rabbeinu is standing on the hill, and he lifts his hands up. And we say, Vayi Yodov Emunah, his hands were Emunah. What does it mean his hands were Emunah? So the Targum Onkelos, from which we know what is the Pshat, he says, Prisum Mitzloy, his hands were Emunah, they were spread in supplication, in Tefillah, to say that Tefillah is Emunah. Obviously, when you daven, you believe somebody is listening to you, and that someone who's listening to you can help you. And by you asking him to help you, he will help you. Especially today, Baruch Hashem was the Yotzat of Hashem. All the tefillahs were Kabul. Tefillah comes because a person believes because Baruch Hu is the one that that rules the world. The more you believe it, the more you daven. The more you believe it, the harder you daven. The more you believe it, the more your tefillah is accepted. That's why when emunah falls down, tefillah doesn't work. And the same thing, and the third thing that usually can save a person is chus avos. That's the schus, the merit of the avos, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, or a person's yichus, whatever it is. Hence, chus avos is gala gam ken rak al yedei emunah. Chus avos is revealed only through emunah. If chinas anitzonim niru ba'aretz, the buds were seen in the land. Anitzonim says Ilain Avhan. The buds are the Avos HaKadoshim. This Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. It says in the Zohar, these are the spheres of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes. This is what it refers to. When the Zohar Kodesh says Hem Nirim is Galim Ba'aretz, these buds, the Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, which comes from the Shemayim, is revealed and helps in this world when the eretz, when the earth is Bchinas Emuna. כמו שכתוב, שכון ארץ, וראה אמונה, reside in the land and shepherd. What shepherd? Emuna, grow Emuna. Here Rabbeinu tells us that Eretz is Bchinas Emuna. This is the sphere of Malchus. Ha'ovis, the nitzonim, the buds, is the light of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet. Avram being spheres of Chesed, Yitzchok being spheres of Gvura, Yaakov is Midas of Tiferet. In the Eretz, that's the receptacle of everything, is the Malchus. Eretz, Bchinas Malchus. So Malchus receives the light of all the of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet. Basically, all the spheres are embedded already in the Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet. Bivchinas Ofor Mana Dechulu, that Ofor, the earth, the sand, is the keli, is the bedrock, is the petri dish, the thing that grows everything, is the keli of everybody. Sphere Malchus is the yesod. Ofor is the element of Ofor, of earth, that receives the light of the spheres of Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferet. This is the Yesod, Mayim, Esh, and Varuach, the elements of water and fire and wind. Water, of course, is Chesed. Gvura is called, fire. And whereas Ruach brings Mikoyach Halapol, it brings it, from being, concealed inside the ground, it grows. When a person has emunah, he's zocher to the light of spheres of Malchus, then he can receive the shefa of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet. Without getting the shefa of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, the Malchus, if there's no Malchus to receive it, it cannot be received. It can be used. It's like we gave once a mashal that a movie projector, when it projects, we spoke about it last time, it projects the movie. When you look at the light that comes out from the projector, from the lens, it looks like rays of light. You don't know you have no idea. There's anything, the movie, whatever it is bekoyach, but you can't see it. When can you see it? When it hits the Malchus, it's a screen where it reflects of it. And on the screen, you can see what was embedded in the Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet that were projecting onto it. The same kind of principle exists in reality all the time. You have the heavenly lens, which is Spheres HaYesod. It brings through it the light of Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet. And if you don't have Emunah, you don't have the Eretz, you don't have the screen, you can't see the movie. You can't receive the shefa. You can't get any of this. Alken, when a person doesn't have emunah, chas v'chalila, schus avos doesn't help. You don't have the keli which to receive it. You don't have the screen. You're showing the movie, and you're projecting the light beam into the emptiness. Fine. There is a movie somewhere in there hidden, but you'll never be able to get it. And here, obviously, the movie we're talking about is the shefa, it's the refuah that we're looking for. Then if you emunah, when the emunah falls, and moilo lo refuah velo tefilo velo schus oves, medicine don't work, tefillah doesn't work, schus oven doesn't work. Kikol elu, because all these are predicated on emunah. And the Rebbe goes into this, and he says also, because when a person sighs and when he cries out, when he's in pain, this sometimes it can help a choila. It's pchinas tefillah. It's tefillah without call. It's tefillah without words. I mean, there's a call because the person calls out, but he screams, oh, and this and that. A Yoledis, she has to scream 70 such voices before she can give birth. So we see that these voices and the groans of a choyle is a pchina of tefillah. And usually sometimes they can help a choyle. The people feel bad for him. Yishamayim, they feel bad for him because of these kolos that he makes. And if you listen Amuna Gamzain, well, but when Amuna falls down, this doesn't help either. The groans and the crying out of ach, of crying out in pain, and kol below divor. This is voice unenunciated. It's not broken down into words. The call, that call that usually, why does it work? Call the b'chinas abahan. The call is the b'chinas ha'ovis, over Yisrael Yaakov. That's the movement that flows through the lens. Chesed Gvura Tiferes. Ki hakol kolul me'esh ma'im ruach. The call comes. How does a person emits a sound? It is air, which is moist, and it is warm. It comes out from his lungs, and it goes over, the vocal cords. So it comes through kol kolul me'esh ruach ma'im. This is Klasavan, that's the three over Mishchamakov, that's Chus Abbas. Then Yiram is Golim, and they only show themselves only through Emunah. Only when a person is in Emunah. So Pchinas, offer Mara de Kulu. The offer of the earth is the Keli for everything. Al Keren Nefilas Emunah, En Moil Gamla Kolis Halal. Before the Rebbe goes on to say that a person himself is not a keli to be mekabel, the toyelis of all these things. The toyelis, the benefit of refuahs, of schus avos, of tefillah, person himself is not a. If a person doesn't have the emunah, he's not a keli to be mekabel. If he has a emunah, he has a keli to be mekabel. It's very, very important for a person to know that. Rabbeinu says that the secret of actually awakening them, as we'll see weiter, is when a person calls out from his heart. It's not even in a voice. There's no even voice involved. There's no sound involved. Not only there's no words, there are no words involved, there's also no sound involved. It's all klibum. Then Rebbe goes into whole mahalach. How do you ma'ir this kind of tza'akah from the heart? Tza'ak klibum, that the heart cries out, that enables the emunah to grow and for all the entire process to be reversed and therefore everything to work. Right up to now, we learned why it doesn't work. But the thing you need to know that when there's no emunah, these things don't work. When there's no emunah, all these things were enumerated, refuahs, chusavas, tefillah, all these things don't work. However, we all have a bechina of emunah. And sometimes we can find ourselves behind a barrier of the Yetzer Hara that separates us from the makor of the emunah. We believe, but not enough to hear ourselves to daven. We believe, of course. You should know that you have a very, very strong Yetzer Hara not to daven, not to call out to Kodesh Baruch Hu, not to call out to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Okay, so why? Maybe you should be in shul. If you cry out, if you shout out, you go to the feld. The Hasidim go to the feld and they shout, they cry out. It's koilos of ach, avoid, gnichos. That's the avoider. I don't even feel like doing that either. So what do? You do a tza'ok libam. Tza'ok libam, the heart will cry out. You can even cry out to Kodesh Baruch Hu with machshava.
Doesn't have to be words.
It's better if it's words. And if you cannot do it, it's better if it's sound. But if it's sometimes you put in Shemaim in such an isoyan that even this you are not motivated to do enough. Like, oh man, be on me. Okay, so let's go to shul and say Tehillim. You said Tehillim. You said the Rambam says you said Tehillim really loud. Really loud. I'm going to be a laughing stock in the shul. What are you talking about? A person can find himself painted into a corner. It's ever shrinking. My options of calling out to Kodesh Baruch Hu are shrinking more. I don't have patience to make his vedadus. I don't have the motivation to actually pick up a Sefer Tehillim and say Tehillim. My ADD forces me, like after 20 seconds, just to drop everything. And I'd rather go to sleep. The answer is you call out from Kodesh Baruch Hu from your heart. The Nosson says, don't come to conclusions. Don't evaluate yourself. You don't know where your Yetzirah is coming from. You have no idea what is the source of your Yetzirah. From this incarnation, from previous incarnation, you have no idea what is confronting you. In other words, you don't even know what it is you can do and what it is you can't do. So what do? You do that which you can. But it's pathetic. When you're talking about it again, I can't do anything. You can't cry from your heart? No, I can't even cry from my heart. I don't want to. I want to keep on sleeping. Leave me alone. Even, Rabbeinu says sometimes, just schweigen still, shutting up, stopping your thoughts. It's also a tza'aka. It's also a cry to Kodesh Baruch Hu. I don't even have the will to motivate myself to cry from my heart. So what do? I just close off and just project my very, very primordial want, the will to want, which every Jew has, and project this to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Kodesh Baruch Hu takes that as well. It works because you have emunah. And that emunah works. The same way as the philus emunah prevents you from getting the Yeshua, the emunah you do have gets you the Yeshua. And adrabah, the closer you get, the more difficult it gets.
Emunah has to come from the heart. Emunah, you can't say it out. I mean,
the emunah, you can say it out, you can say it but the thing is that why do you call out to Kodesh Baruch Hu? Why, even when a person is not motivated to call out to a Kodesh Baruch Hu, that when he's shutting up in his mind towards Hashem Kaviyachol, it's also a tza'aka, it's also a cry. Why? Because I mean it. I mean it to me. I'm going like, what is this? This is emunah. This is emunah. I can't do anything. Help me. I can't even ask. I can't even want you to help me to get out of it. But I'm still looking at you. What am I going to do? That is also emunah. That's also a tza'aka. We say when there's no emunah, that doesn't work. When there's emunah, this does work. This does work. All these things that we said. It's a oko. Sometimes with the voice, without a voice. Sometimes even if you can't even enunciate in your own mind, you can't even muster the willpower to want to get out of it. And you're just, shtika b'machshava. When you mean it, before I'm powerless. It's also a tzaka. Tzaka libam. Kodesh Baruch Hu should help us. That Zat Hashem will see great miracles very, very soon. We'll see great miracles very, very soon. You're masking? You're masking? Yeah, okay. You're masking? Masking. Well, Zat Hashem will see great. It's when you become, it's much harder to be a tycoon than to hold a 9-to-5 job. We want to be a tycoon of Emunah. We want to be a tycoon of Emes. The bigger you get, the challenges are bigger. You have to be more resolute. You're fighting a much greater fight. And you just, okay, I'm getting up, I'm going to shul, maybe go to Zoom, whatever. Go to work, open up a sefer, nice. Finish. Okay, 9-to-5 job, great. But that's all you have, 9-to-5 job. Olam hazen, olam haba. Rabbeinu says the Sefer Tehillim is the Isberes of David HaMelech. What means Sefer Tehillim is the Isberes of David HaMelech. Since David HaMelech is the heart of Am Yisrael, so every Jew can find himself in the Tehillim. But each and every one of us, Zat Hashem, after 120 years, will be presented with his own Tehillim. That's the Tehillim that you wrote, with your tefillas, your esbeidus, with your craving, with your. And Zat Hashem will bring us refuah in Yeshua, Mr. Sabbeinu HaKadosh, Mr. Zocher Limeinu. That was a Hariyot Zeit. Hashem will be Zocher Yeshua Shleima, refuah to all the Chaylim, and Yeshua to Klal Yisrael. And Zat Hashem, Kodesh Baruch Hu will rid us of what Rabbeinu calls Gimel Kitois Avodim. The 3 sects of slaves that spoil the taste, the smell, and the sight because of nibul peh, because of pritzes, and because of and they spoil it. These are the Erev Rav, which are inside us. They look like a Jew, they sound like a Jew, but they're not. And we don't know who they are. And they don't know who they are.
Like the missionaries and what they
No. Yeah. Missionaries, you know that they're not. No. Chas v'chalila. No.
Some of them you could tell right away.
We cannot tell anything. Mashiach can. Kadosh Baruch Hu can. But Hashem will get rid of them. Hashem will be zocher b'nei Beis Hamikdash. B'mehera b'yameinu amen. Hashem.